Now for the next weapon category, the shotguns. And the first one is the M37 Shotgun. Pretty sure this has been in the series multiple times. It looks vaguely familiar. Alright, a pump-action shotgun. Shots have a wide spread, so they're more effective up close. Isn't that always the case with shotguns? Alrighty. So to show you where it comes from, so here's where you get the M37 Shotgun. It's on the statue in the main hall in the main house. Now, of course, being like a classic Resident Evil game, it's not going to be that simple. It will lock you in if you take it without putting something else in its place. Sound familiar? So, you want to get the broken shotgun and put it in its place. And where you get the broken shotgun is one of the Scorpion key rooms, after you obtain the Scorpion key, of course. Alright, so I'm noticing here, there's not really a difference in the blurriness, whether I'm aiming far or close. So I'm gonna go ahead and test this for the distance. And we're done with enhanced ammo, so only one type of ammo per weapon from here on out. Alrighty. So, being a shotgun, not that high of a capacity, but when you use it on enemies at close range, it packs a punch. So let's go ahead and test the shotgun, the M37 shotgun specifically, on a molded. Alright, so 2 shots from the M37 to take down a molded. So, the molded is pretty powerful. Even at close range, it took more than 1 shot. Don't really have much more to say about the M37 shotgun. We'll have more to say when I compare it to the other shotgun. So that concludes the M37. Now for the next and last shotgun, the M21. An old-fashioned shotgun. Doesn't hold much ammo, but packs quite a punch. Alright, so that is basically telling you that the capacity is a little less, but the firepower is going to go up. So, depending on what type of weapon wielder you are, you'll either like this or you'll hate it. Alright? So I'm going to walk you through the process of getting the M21 shotgun. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start unlocking the snake rooms, and first place is in Marguerite's room. And you want to locate a treasure photo that's on the stool right here. And when you do that, you unlock the ability to receive another repair kit for the broken shotgun, which happens to be the M21 shotgun. So another thing you're going to do is obviously you need a substitute for the broken shotgun. So to find that, you want to go into Lucas's room and you want to go into the attic. Up here you'll find a toy axe and a model shotgun. That's where I'm pointing at right now. I already took it, as you can see here. But yeah, once you have that model shotgun, you can replace the broken shotgun, as I show right here. So there's the broken shotgun. I'm gonna take it, and it's gonna release the trap again. But then I'm gonna put the model shotgun in its place. Now I have the broken shotgun. And now the final step, you get the repair kit when you're going through the testing area, where Lucas is laying tripwires for you. It's in the second room after the tripwires begin. And this is where the treasure photo depicted. Yeah, you want to move that mannequin head, and then the repair kit will be right there for you. So let's go ahead and repair the broken shotgun. So now we got the M21 shotgun. And it only has 2 bullets in it, unfortunately. But that's okay. It's more powerful. So, not much else to say about it. Let's go ahead, other than the fact that it's a double barrel, but let's go ahead and test it out. Let's see the firing speed again. Okay, that looks more like it. So it's not pump action. That increases the firing speed quite a bit. Well, let's go ahead and test the M21 on a molded. Alrighty, so the firepower of the M21 isn't noticeably much different than the M37, only because it also took 2 shots to defeat a molded. But in the long run, and from my personal experience, the M21 is more powerful than the M37. I can give you that assurance. Alright, you'll just have to take my word for it. Other than that, though, I think that's going to conclude the M21, and that also concludes all shotguns. Alright, now for the next weapon, and it doesn't really have its own category. It is the burner. Now, from the looks of it, it's basically a homemade flamethrower, if you will. A homemade flamethrower crafted from junk. Needs fuel to burn. No shit. Alrighty, to rock you through the process of getting the burner. So, you find it at the old house. And after coming out here, the burner is created through 2 pieces. So the first piece you're going to find out here, and it will be on that little table right there. I already picked it up. I keep making the mistake of picking stuff up before I start recording. Alright, and then the second place, let's fast forward a little bit. Second place you find it happens to be where you see the pedestal. The second piece will be in this trash can. And then once you have both pieces, you can go ahead and combine them and you will create the burner. There you go. It's basically a flamethrower. So yes, it is a slight process to create this weapon, but once you get it, it's really helpful against Marguerite and her bugs. That's basically its main use, is against bugs, but it can be used for all other enemies as well, if you want. It's a close-range weapon, that's the only problem with it. Nevertheless, I'm going to test it out right here. Let's test out the burner, or the... I always want to call it a flamethrower, but it's not, because it's homemade. But it's the first flame-based weapon that has a reload animation. So yeah, you just replace it with these canisters of burner fuel, basically, and that's the ammo for it. Speaking of the burner fuel, this can be created with the chem fluid. If you regular chem fluid and solid fuel makes burner fuel. Alright, just something to note. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and test the burner on an enemy. And the only way I can do that is if I watch the amount of shots I start with and the amount of shots it takes to defeat it. Kind of like with machine guns and other flamethrowers of the past. Okay, so no matter what, it's going to be really difficult to give you an exact estimate of how much burner fuel that took. So I started at 150 and then I let go of the trigger at 116. So that's 34 whatever of fuel to take down a molded. Now, some of it may have been wasted after its initial dying animation. So yeah, point is it will take around 30 units to take down a molded. Now if you go for the head, of course, it'll probably take way less, just to let you know. Alright, well, that's going to conclude the burner. Just so you know, though, it's a weapon primarily used on Marguerite and her bugs, alright? But you can use it on other enemies as well. Now for the machine guns, and there's only one in this weapon category, and that is the P19. Alright, doesn't look like a machine gun we've ever seen before in the series. So, no Heckler & Koch MP5 here, folks. By the way, I know it's Coke for Americans, but I'm trying to pronounce it in the actual German version. It's Koch, or Koch, if you really want. Please don't correct me on that. I know what I'm saying. So, anyway, that is totally besides the point, because there is no Heckler weapon here. So, the P19 Machine Gun, a rapid-fire machine gun. Honestly. Okay. Well, being the only one, I guess I can't really make a very descriptive description. Alrighty, so the first time you see the P19 happens to be in Mia's inventory from the very start of the tape that she looks at, and right there in the beginning. Now you have that throughout this tape, of course, but to get it again, after viewing the tape, you have to find the captain's quarters on the 4th floor. And you have to unlock this locker using the locker key. I forget exactly where it is, but once you find it, you'll be able to get the P19 again. And then, of course, after retrieving it from Mia, it will end up in Ethan's inventory box after the whole sequence with Mia. Alright, so here's the P19. Let's go ahead and test it out, like I test machine guns. Alrighty then, so there's a submachine gun for you. Auto fire. Along with the burner, it is another weapon that you can just hold the trigger down. Let's go ahead and test the P19 on a molded. Alright, so it took a total of 15 P19 submachine gun shots to take down the molded. So, obviously being machine gun ammo, each individual shot is going to deal less damage than a typical handgun bullet. But, you're not going to be slowly firing like that when you're playing this game for real. So, they'll go down a lot faster than what I showed. Alrighty, well, since there's no other machine gun in this game, there's no comparing it to anything. So that's going to go ahead and conclude the P19 machine gun. Now for the next weapon category, my personal favorite, the Magnums. And just like the machine gun, there is only one Magnum in this game. And that is the 44 Mag. That's what they call it. Looks like an Auto Mag, like in real life, because I think that's what it is. Alright. A large caliber firearm. It has a lot of bite, but a lot of recoil too. Well, isn't that obvious? It's a Magnum, for God's sakes. Alright, so in order to get the 44 Mag, you have to collect at least 9 antique coins, and then you can unlock this birdcage containing the 44 Mag. Once you have 9 antique coins, you can get this beast. Anyway, let's go ahead and test the Magnum out. Okay, so the reload animation and the firing animation are just like a handgun, basically. But the firing sound, at least, is different. And we know it's going to have a lot more firepower when testing it on a molded. Alright, only 2 shots from the 44 Mag to take down a molded. So there you go. That's the firepower of the 44 Mag. But that just goes to show you that the Albert 01 handgun with enhanced ammo took the same amount of shots. So I guess it's accurate to say the Albert 01 with enhanced ammo is just as powerful as this 44 Magnum. So once you have enough enhanced ammo, you could probably substitute this with that instead. Has a lot more ammo with it. Alright. Well, that's gonna conclude the Magnum in terms of reviewing it. However, this is gonna excite a lot of you. I'm gonna do my classic Resident Evil weapon review tradition. What I always do with the Magnums. Can you guess it? I bet you did, if you've been my subscriber. If not, this is what it is. What I like to do with the Magnums is I like to take the most powerful, but in this case, this is the only one, and take it to the most basic enemy, in this case probably the molded, and do an explosive critical headshot with it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Headshot! Honestly, that's not nearly as explosive as, like, all the other headshots in my series of reviewing. But nevertheless, this being a main series title, this will be added into my headshot YouTube intro. Why wouldn't it be? Alright, well, that concludes the 44 Magnum. Now for the last weapon of my weapon review, the final weapon category, the explosive weapons. And the only one within is the grenade launcher. Can't be Resident Evil without a grenade launcher, now can it? So, the grenade launcher is described as a handmade grenade launcher. Can use different ammo types. Okay, so that's been typical with a grenade launcher, is it uses multiple types of ammo. But, just look at this grenade launcher. It's nothing... It's not like any grenade launcher we've ever seen, and that's because it's a handmade grenade launcher. So the grenade launcher is found in this crow key room, and it happens to be the only one in the main house. Right there in front of you. Alrighty then. But in this game, there are only two types of ammo. And those are the flame rounds, and a brand new round we've never seen in this series before, a neuro round. Basically, it affects the nervous system. The closest comparison I can make to it is electricity rounds, but it's not even like that, really. Alright, so let's go ahead and test the grenade launcher out. Here it is in equipped view. So first let's test the flame round out. Alrighty. The only problem with this weapon is it requires you to reload after every shot. When you notice in the classic games, when you fire the grenade launcher, it does the initial reload animation for you. You don't have to reload it manually. Now in this game, they decide to drop all of that, and now you are forced to do it yourself after each individual round. I guess it's only fair. But now let's test out a neuro round. Alrighty, so obviously the flame rounds are going to deal damage. I am not too sure if the neuro rounds actually deal some sort of damage. They attack the nervous system, so the neuro rounds are used to slow down or stop your enemy in its tracks for a temporary period of time in order to allow you to shoot them with any other weaponry and defeat them easier. So I'm going to go ahead and test the flame rounds first on a molded. Alrighty, so two flame rounds to take down a molded, so even when directly fired at it, it won't go down in one shot. So, since this is the last weapon I'm reviewing, I would just like to say that I think I made a good decision when choosing the molded as my main enemy to test all of the weapons on. Not a single weapon took it down in one shot, so it's pretty powerful if you ask me. Of course, it will only take one shot if you do go for the head with certain weapons, such as the Magnum, or the Albert 01 Enhanced, or the shotgun at close range, if you're lucky with that shot. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the effects of the neuro round. Alright, so as you can see, his movement was temporarily disabled, basically. He wasn't able to move that much, so left you open to fire a bunch of rounds into him with any other weapon. Now I'm going to find out if all the rounds I have here are enough to actually defeat him, or if it does any damage. Oh wow! Okay, so the neuro rounds do deal damage. Quite a bit, it seems, because it took the same amount of rounds as the flame rounds. So maybe it has the same firepower, it's just the neuro rounds have an added effect, like not only damages them a little bit, but it temporarily disables their movement. Now flame rounds are advantageous as well because, of course, being flame rounds, the flame spreads around them, so you'll deal damage even if you don't directly hit them. And you have more potential to defeat more than one enemy with the flame rounds as well. And with the neuro rounds, of course. Alrighty people, well that concludes the grenade launcher, and that concludes the category of explosive weapons, even though there's no other weapon explosive other than the remote bomb, but that's handheld, so that's a whole different category altogether. And that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes my weapon review of Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Oh boy. I really hope you have enjoyed this video. It was pretty fun to make. It's been a long time since I've been back at weapon reviews. The last weapon review I made was my HD remake of Code Veronica X, and the last new game I reviewed the weapons of course, was Revelations 2, because before this, that was the newest game of the franchise. I do not count Umbrella Corps, by the way. So, weapon review is over with, and there weren't that many weapons in the game. There were only 17 weapons total to review. Unlike the last 5 modern games or so, where all of them had like 20 plus weapons, and lots of multiple enemies to test them on, this weapon review was one of the simpler weapon reviews I've ever made. And I'm really happy it was, because for a brand new game, for the weapon review to be this simple, I'm really glad I was able to get it out to you guys this fast. The game is less than a month old, and I hope you guys are happy that I got it to you this fast. I don't know why you guys wouldn't be. Revelations 2, it still took me many months before I got a weapon review out to you guys. It's probably because this game is pretty simple. It's one of the simplest Resident Evil games I've ever played. It's not necessarily a bad thing. The classic games were simple in a way, so just more related to the classic games. It doesn't have to be so hard like an action shooter. Alrighty people, well that's the conclusion of my weapon review. Once again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and because this is now the newest game in the series, I have once again completed my elements of weapons on my channel. So there will not be another weapon review until another brand new game comes out. But that doesn't mean I won't return to other games for reviewing the weapons of for other reasons. I can think of several reasons why I could remake some weapon reviews. For example, Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 all got ported to current-gen consoles at a new 60 frames per second frame rate. So I could theoretically remake those weapon reviews again in 60 frames per second, and like with my newfound knowledge, and just they would be better than any previous version, of course, because of my enthusiasm for this series. But anyway, for the time being, I'm done with weapon reviews once again. For my subscribers, now that this is over with, of course, the next thing I'll be planning on will be continuing my Let's Plays of the franchise, and starting with the one I left off after Resident Evil 3, which was Resident Evil Survivor, which is the first spin-off of the series. Alright, so I would say that's what you guys have to look forward to. I've been thinking of other side projects though, like, not really reviews or anything, but because this brand new game is out, of course I gotta update my weapon intro, and probably my Let's Play intro as well. Add a new game into it, you know? A side project I've also been thinking about is I need to create a very nice trailer for my channel in general. You know how those big YouTubers create an intro to their channels, and that for newcomers who haven't subscribed to you yet, when they look at your channel, there's a video that you can feature from your list of videos you can use as your channel trailer. So I need to create a trailer of some sort and show the newcomers what kind of YouTuber I am. But anyway, that's just a bunch of stuff to look forward to. My next Let's Play of Resident Evil Survivor, possibly a channel trailer, and maybe showing you my updates to my intros. And possibly remade weapon reviews. We'll see. I'll let you guys know on Facebook and Twitter if you follow that. So, the official conclusion. This is Shankster94, aka TheGamerShankster. Rate, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shankster_94. And to check out my Facebook page. I do have a Twitch account. Don't do much on it. You can join it if you want. I'm not really gonna tell you to do that anymore. But it's just an option. Alright? So guys, peace out. Once again, one last time. I hope you enjoyed the weapon review of Resident Evil 7. And for me personally, it is one of the best Resident Evil games to come out in a very long time. And I'm very happy that Capcom listened to the fans finally. This is a true survival horror gem. I don't care what anyone else says. Peace out!